this year's celebration. That's like this: building sustainable communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness. Building sustainable communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness. If we all become financial literates, and then we are able to include everyone far and wide, for them to be able to access financial products, and then be able to make financially informed decisions. That is to say, spending, saving, budgeting, debt management, estate planning. If all such decisions are done, taking into consideration how much one earns and what one actually needs and what one actually does not need at that point in time, then I think we'll all be having a better society. A society that is devoid of people who are always stressed, people who are always living beyond their means. That is what we are striving for. And we know we have started just like people may not have maybe been able to see what we are. They will believe that with time they will get to know it.
It's like when we talk about financial literacy, one of the things we recognize is that things change, seasons change, and we have to be ready. And I think our previous speakers have talked to issues of sustainability. Those are issues of resilience, meaning that we have to have certain capacities to be able to move forward. Thank you, Dr. Henry, for the introduction. Let me just begin by acknowledging my colleagues who are here from the government, from the bank, from the leadership from the university, National University of Lesotho, from the private sector, other supporting non-governmental organizations, organizers who have made this, who are doing a lot of work to improve the literacy, to improve the awareness around finances and how we handle finances. Thank you, Dr. Henry, for the great introduction. So I will not belabor the point. But I'll do a few simple things. I'll talk to us about where I'm coming from, what is USA and what do we do. I'll talk to you a little bit about where I'm coming from personally, and then I'll touch on a few aspects, and then a little bit of some thoughts on financial literacy, inclusiveness, and all of those things that bring us here together. So just to introduce a little bit about USAID. USAID stands for United States Agency for International Development, so it's a United States government agency, development agency. It's kind of the premier development agency. That means when the US government is supporting different projects, different programs around the world, they send those funds through agencies like USAID. In Lesotho, we have, with the programs that we implement, mostly in public health, we implement close to, right now, through USAID, we are around $40 million every single year that's implemented. One of our flagship programs is called Karapo Yamupilo. It's implemented by Baylor. They work with adolescent girls and young women, where we're improving entrepreneurship skills to ensure the girls have resilience and they're able to stand on their own. And that they take almost around $10 million a year, so which is pretty significant. And then that brings a lot of support to the girls, helping them with different things, training, literacy training, as well as internships. So I've been here in Lesotho for the last 8 years, like you said, working with these programs, and we've been able to see different developments. And we're hoping that we'll have even greater collaborations and extensions working with the National University of Lesotho and also with different programs that are improving the well-being and finances of Lesotho, of adolescent girls and young women, because we know that once they have those skills and they can build up, that brings up that inclusiveness, but also not forgetting the young boys. Talking about myself personally, so like you said, I work here in that capacity, but previously I'm originally from Zambia and worked in Zambia for a long time. And one of my favorite things to do was to teach at the University of Zambia, which is where I studied as well. And I would go to teach a 4th year class. Mostly I would teach about conceptual frameworks that we use when we are designing new programs. So how do you design a program? What should you be thinking about? And one of my favorite conceptual frameworks that I will always go back to is what is called the livelihoods model. So I'll explain that very, very quickly, very briefly. In the livelihoods model, you think about a person, any one of you. So let me start with a mental exercise first before I talk about the livelihoods model. I would have asked everybody to raise your hand if you have done this, or put your hands down. Let's start just mental kind of exercise. Let's see, how many people, okay, for this few, let's see, people can raise their hands. How many people have a smartphone that has apps on it? A smartphone, you can text, you can do WhatsApp, you can do Facebook. Some of you are spending the whole time that I'm talking on your smartphone. Put the smartphones away. But it is known that the people who have access to information will make faster progress. Now I can transact, I can do business, I can pay my bills, I can do everything just from a smartphone. So just that is the beginning of empowerment, just somebody having that too. But it depends on what they use it for. So let's move to the next stage. How many people use something like M-Pesa to pay payments? Have ever used something like M-Pesa, something like a Kuru to make any payments? Anything to transfer funds, no matter where the funds are coming from. All right. How many people have a valid bank account that is like an account that you can put money in? All right. Hands are becoming fewer. How many people have society? How many people have like a side income? Some people would call it side hustle. There are some students who do like they sell bands, they sell scones, they sell cookies, they sell. I can see some side hustlers, serious ones behind there. You can see you take pictures and you sell, and you know you can do whatever online. These days you can run all sorts of businesses online. All right, you don't have to put hands up for this. How many people own some kind of shares, stocks? How many people are renting out a property that they are making income? That's their own. Okay? It doesn't matter where you came from, whether you inherited it or you got it yourself. But if it's yours, the money is yours. We should also be encouraging transfer of wealth and transfer as part of financial literacy. Okay, but in general, each one of us has paid for some kind of service, right? Final one, and I like this one. How many people have given money to somebody else? That is their own money. It's just in the last 1 year, you've given money to somebody else, your own money. You give it to somebody else. That's usually the difficult one. All right. All of those aspects have to do with how we handle and how we manage our own finances, both how we get, but also how we invest and how we transact. So back to the livelihoods model. The livelihoods model has different things. It has assets, it has production and income activities, it has consumption, it has processing, but then on one side it also has shocks and effects, and then on the other side it has the things that we are ending up with. food, nutrition, health, water, shelter, education, all of these things. That will make sure that they are balanced. So I would usually spend quite a bit of time with the students talking about this as a conceptual model of each person's life. You always have assets, things that help you make something or bring in income. You can use those assets for production. You can consume the assets. You can, kill an animal and eat it, or you can produce with the animal. But you can also process whatever you have and bring in more assets. And at the end of the day, I would always say, and also coming from an economics background, I would say, as a formula, when your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. Does that make sense? When your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. So, when I was preparing these thoughts and thinking about, I kind of want to talk about, there was a video playing in the background and somebody was giving advice about what they should do with because they're in so much trouble. They're spending way more than they're getting. Obviously, this is in the US, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're in debt for millions of dollars. But that happens to each one of us. And I didn't even pay attention. Then I realized we talk about financial literacy, but at the end of the day, these are the practical things that we face that everybody needs to be aware of before they reach that point. The person that we're talking to was advising them now how to get out of debt. This is a big thing in the US, how to get out of debt. And for most of them, it's a lot of debt with school loans and all sorts of things. So that's kind of an advantage that we don't usually think about on this side in Africa, where you finish school and you don't have any loans and you can start from where you are. But those are things that are real and those are the things that happen on a day-to-day. So I'm honored to be here today during Financial Literacy Week to speak with you about the importance of financial education and the role it holds in transforming our lives. And you can't talk about financial literacy without talking about money, because it's one of the important resources that we have to contend with. Yet many of us lack the knowledge and the skills to manage effectively. Financial literacy is the foundational knowledge that we need to make informed decisions. It helps us to understand the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, and also managing debt. We all have different financial situations. Some of us start from nothing, some of us start from a little, some of us start from a little more. But the good news is that it's never too late to start learning about how to make money work for us. Regardless of the financial situation we find ourselves in, we can always benefit from financial education and take steps to improve our financial well-being. It is learning about money is the first step in taking control of our financial future. It will teach you what to do when you have nothing, how to make most of what you have, and how to grow a little into a lot. Earlier I was asking about, how many of us are involved in some kind of entrepreneurship. It also helps us to understand important basics, like how to set financial goals, how to run a simple budget, how to spend it, and how to save for the future, how to save for the shocks and effects, like as shown in models like the life goods model. However, it's not just about what you do with the money, but also our thinking, our concepts. It's the way you think that really has the most profound effect. What ideas are you bringing to the table when you're thinking about, when you see money? Again, as a side thought, I'm always astounded. There's a show that runs on TV, I believe DSTV, and they show people who maybe they get hit by a car, and they get this lump sum insurance payments. And then they tell the story of how they start drinking from day one, and buy Nikes from day one, and buy everything that they thought. And then at the end of the day, you see the story from where they end up exactly where they started. That's very different from if you gave the same amount of money, that same 2 million maloti, if you gave it to somebody else who was grown up with a certain different perspective. They will invest that money, they will spend it right. So it's the way you think about it, I think, is a big step in financial literacy. If you have a positive attitude, number one, believe that we can create wealth, we are more likely to take the right type of risks and pursue the opportunities that can help us achieve our financial goals. Remember, education is just the door, hard work is the lever, but entrepreneurship is the dynamite. Entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful tools for financial empowerment, financial inclusion. It can help turn our personal dreams into reality, but also create better communities and improve country economics. It takes a lot of hard work, it takes determination, it takes willingness to take risks. And we have to start from where we are, but we have to start early. As the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant is? When is the next best time to plant a tree? Now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant is now. So let's take advantage of financial literacy period and commemoration to start planting the seed for a better financial future. Let's commit to learning more about money, setting financial goals, and taking steps to achieve them. Let's embrace the mindset of an entrepreneur and look for opportunities to create wealth and make a positive impact in our communities. I urge you all to take advantage of the resources that are available to us. We have NGOs, we have the government, and all the information and all the connections that they provide so we can build a better future. Again, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now.
Greetings to you all. My name is Adele Bule. I'm a third-year student in BCom in Accounting and Finance. I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude for this golden opportunity to address you on this momentous occasion. Last year, a personal story told by one of the speakers, I believe it was Medibuse from the Lesotho Financial Literacy Institute, moved me. When I had entered the hall last year, I thought I knew what financial literacy was. I'd even made up my mind that the whole concept was suited for the rich learners and rich people who have finance to manage. I didn't understand as to why we were being bombarded with big words like savings and investment when, and I'll make a personal reference to this, some of us have to feed not only ourselves but our families with our allowances. So it didn't feel like it applied to me. And I also thought about some of the people I'd met since I moved here to Roma for my degree. I thought about one lady I know who's a tailor along the road there, William. I thought, how does this apply to her? Because every cent she makes has to somehow have to be spent that same day to cater for her needs as she's the sole caretaker of her home. How does this apply to an example, my landlord's cousin who's a head boy, whose job is, whose salary rather is 1 cow in annually. How does this apply to them? How do we include them in this, as I thought last year, seemingly important concept? Medibuse's story made me understand one key thing that has single-handedly made me be at a better place financially today than I was in April 2023. is too little, and that gives us permission to defend the bad decisions we find ourselves making, such as death and other immoral decisions. Exactly 200 years ago, Mshoshawan founded the Lesotho Nation. How settling is it that phrases and words like homelessness, depression, death, domestic violence are normalcy to our people? We need to rewrite the narrative. Bushokbadi powerful, pickpocketing, burglaries, and other issues can be alleviated if we become dedicated to including everyone.
We are facing a complex environment that comprises of high financial inclusion and low financial literacy. This requires a befitting strategic configuration to respond to this kind of problem context. Unfortunately, it is usual that people who are thinking from the reductionist paradigm would always pick a simple, tired, tried and overused model to resolve this kind of problem context, not in the 21st century. When you have a problem context, you should have an equally complex approaches to resolve that problem context. And in this case, that requires innovation. And in that case, the university is equal to task. And I am not going to talk much about that because the bank has started its collaboration with the university to try and respond to that. And the governor would call the industry leaders and development partners to build up formidable teams, to mobilize resources to try and resolve this kind of problem context. Now, that strategic configuration belongs to the governor, and I know and hopeful that he will have time and space to take it further with the industry leaders and the development partners. Now I'm coming home. I'm going to talk about money. It is commonly expected that when central bankers talk about money, they will be talking about figures, talking about those econometrics terms and formulas. No, that is not money for my grandmother and my grandfather in the village. I will talk about money in a much more practical sense. Money is a problem when you have it. It's also a problem when you don't have it. When you don't have money, obviously it's a problem. You're struggling, you're worried, you're broke. When you have money, in families where there is money, those families don't sleep. Somebody wakes up the other in the middle of the night to say, what can we do with this money? So, the question is, what does money buy that gives so much problem? I'll tell you, money buys two things: pride or ego, and it buys love. People sweat day in, day out to spend money to buy only those two intangible commodities. And in Lesotho, we have a kind of subtle socio-economic orientation into consumption, which now translates into borrowing. And then that's where the problem starts. When a young person enters employment, within the first 3 months, when the salary goes into the bank, those bankers know that, this one's payslip is not yet entered. They are going to give you a phone call. If you are a man, you will receive a call from a girl. If you are dead, you receive a call from the board. And when this boy from the bank calls you, you feel very important. Oh, you qualify for X amount of money. They play on your mind, you are going to take that time. Okay? Now, following the recent cyber attack, we are controlled so much that these guys won't allow my machine to be open for too long. So, there's one important concept that I want to share with you. It wouldn't be fair that I come here and don't share this one with you. I want to introduce to you a concept called consumer financial vulnerability. What does this mean? This is the risk of future realized harm, given the consumer's current level of access to various financial resources and expectations about uncertain resource changes in the future. The moment a person has access to X amount of money, they access the money, deploy it in such a manner that if the circumstances under which they got the money change, then they become financially vulnerable. This is evidenced through the number of houses that are being sold at the High Court. They are being auctioned at the High Court. Cars that are being auctioned at the High Court. I work in financial consumer protection division. This is where I meet people with three problems. I said money buys pride or ego. There are parents who do not bring their children to the National University of Lesotho. They take them overseas because they can afford it. The circumstances change, you find the child is stuck overseas. The parent is looking for overdraft so that she can buy a ticket for the child to come home. Who said because you earn so much money you should send your child overseas? And when you lose employment, the whole family is stuck. You see, there are those who buy those beautiful houses in Masuru, whatever. And then you have the housing loan, the mortgage loan, the overdraft, the personal loan, all these kind of loans. There was a family that earned 100,000 and there was 40 from the mother and 60 from the father. And then the father lost employment during COVID. And then this family could not now be able to service all the other loans that they had. Those pronounced inflation age, because when you have an overdraft, it's like you are cool. I normally say, put it in Sisutu so that it drives the message home. What is it? Personal loan, what is it? Mortgage loan, what is it? Car loan, what is it? Overdraft, but in that you are going to find the word mukolo. Okay? So, look at how easy people go into mukolo. You are going to be invited, the first point when you graduate, because this is where you will be going. If you are not careful, you are going to join those people who are in mukolo. When you graduate, the first thing you're going to buy, because you'll be celebrating moving from your small bed from the campus, you're going to go into the furniture shop, buy a big bed. And then it's going to be trophy shop. Then it's going to be the bank. Then it's going to be the microfinance. And then there will be those ladies who sell clothes from Dubai. They're going to sell you the nice sheets, the nice beige dressing, and then they're going to sell the night dress and the slippers. So that when you sleep, you're going to sleep in bed. And then you'll be dressed in bed. And then you'll be eating dead. And I mean, you drown into debt like that, as if you would sleep in a small, you live in a moderate house, it will be a sin. I want to tell you today, Don't allow your ego or your pride to drive you into unnecessary debt. As you work to avoid financial vulnerability, as you work, you should work as if you may lose job tomorrow. Divide your working time into punctuations of 5 years. In the first 5 years, you'll be working and enjoying money, well and good. During that period, build up stock of finances that you're going to use in the next 5 years, so that you can now change your standard of living in the next 5 years. And you continue like that until death do us part. How do you approach your finances such that you won't land into troubles? Firstly, assess your current financial situation. When I say your current financial situation, start now while you are on campus. How much money does manpower give you if you are lucky, because some don't have it? Then develop your personal goals. Determine your actions on your spending plan. Evaluate alternatives to meet your goals, know your needs and wants, and make choices and substitutes, and delay gratifications. This one is very difficult. You got unemployment today, you want to enjoy your money now. Or when you want to impress and show the whole world that you are driving a nice car. Develop the plan, select financial products with caution. Build wealth. This one is where the biggest challenge is. For all of us, we have been to the universities and went degree 1, degree 2. Nobody ever taught us to build wealth. Instead, we saw ourselves driving nice flashy cars, and then we never started building wealth. And then review and revise your plan. In that way, you'll be able to get somewhere. There's a study that came to a determination that 85% of financial success is due to your personality and 15% is due to your technical skills. The time I have is too short to go and learn about the technical skills that I wish to give you. But you understand that most people who don't have money or who are struggling with money, they struggle with money because their personality is the one that's driving them there into. You have to understand the kind of person you are in relation to money. Are you the kind of person who likes spending, saving, investing? And also identify these attributes: self-awareness, self-regulation, personal mastery, internal motivation, and consistent application. If you know things that make you a better person, keep on refining them so that you become even the best person. I am not going to talk much about debt, but you would recall the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If I were projecting, you will see. Maslow identified these basic human needs, and which posited that if you are at a lower level, you will be financing yourself to move to the next level until you reach that highest level where you own a pay or you have self-actualized. So this urge to spend money is trying to grow up the needs ladder. How do you keep money so that you don't face problems? You must have money for everyday needs, mid-term needs, and the long-term needs, and also money for emergencies. There's nothing as embarrassing as not having money for emergencies. When you are sick, or when your mother, you'll be waking. Imagine you are waking now. When your mother is sick, you have to go and borrow money so that you can send your mother to the doctor. And you know what the money lenders do? They will take your card and the pin, then give you some loan, and then they will take your ID and your passport. And if you reach that stage, which I urge you never to allow yourself to reach that stage, then you should know you have a problem. I met a police officer in Halsu who came to me and told me that his passport, in fact, he had given out the passport, the IDs and other means. He remained with the ID from his employer. And guess who was his employer? National Security Services. His ID was with the money lender. And I said, okay, show me the money lender. I went with the ID. Never repeat that. It is being emphasized that you should learn as much as you can about financial issues. Lest I don't get a null private investing in the Get Rich Quick scheme. My God, somebody who hasn't got the finances right is an easy target for the Get Rich Quick scheme. Understand the financial products, the concepts, and the risks, so that you can make more informed financial decisions. If you can ask people who invested, in fact, I don't want to call it investing, I want to call it throwing money down the drain through triple M, or maybe some of you were not yet on when triple M was in. It could be, the latest was the Forex by Mahongo and last week, those who are your peers. When I called them, let me tell you this thing. Mahongo was collecting 75,000 maluti per day. Last week was collecting 250,000 maluti per day. And when I called to stop that, they said, just allow us a month or 3 so that we try to sort issues out. I said, we're not going anywhere with this. If you don't sort your finances properly, you think that Mahongo and last week will make you rich and they will never. So, the best way to go about these financial issues is to get organized. And Miller says organizing is what you do before you go something so that when you read it, so it's not a wrong stuff. And Warren says you should identify 25 things that you want to achieve. And from there, pick just 5. If you can be able to achieve 5, then you can take them gradually until you achieve all the 20. There's something said that I want to state while you are here. I know life on campus is very exciting. When we're on campus, it's like it's going to be this kind of excitement until we are gone. Currently, the acting vice chancellor made my life easier. He said there's high unemployment. Recently, I was repairing my car. I sent my car for repairs. The guys who were doing the brake pads on my cars, they had not the first degree and honors, the other one first degree and masters. This says there's a chance that when you live here, you will find yourself in a different environment than the one you might be anticipating, and you should be ready. Unfortunately, if you don't identify your age and the stage at which you are, and you want to enjoy as if life doesn't end, by the time you get employment, you might be employed at the age of 32. I was at the School Correctional Services talking to their recruits. The average age for those guys, very sad, is 32. If you start working at the age of 32, and you're going to retire at the age of 55, how much pension would you have accumulated at that time, within that time? This says to you, when you start working, you should take it seriously, identify the age at which you are. If you need to close gaps, please close gaps. Don't go partying while you are supposed to be closing gaps. My God, I don't even know how to dance because I never had an opportunity to dance. So, with you, between 25 and 35, it's family formation and accumulation. You can see where you are. 45, 55 is accumulation and growth. If you get the job at around 32, it means you have lost about 7 years of employment. I'll show you how much money you have lost. If I was able to project, I will project for you the spreadsheet where I show how easy it is for a young person to have money, to be wealthy. I have my own formula. Young person, age stable income and savings, and investing is equal to wealth. If you save 1,000 Maluti from that age, with the power of compounding interest, by the time you reach 65, you'll be having 2.5 million. So I can safely say I'm speaking to potential millionaires in this class. It's all up to you whether you are going to decide to blow it or not to blow it. When you approach money, don't go buying this flashy stuff, not unless you have prepared beforehand. After graduation, a car should be the last thing. Building wealth should be the first thing. Okay? Insurance. Good people. Those people working in government like insurances very much. Take a payslip for the civil servant. You have barrier 1, barrier 2, barrier 3, barrier 4. You know what they say. A person takes those many policies so that when these distant relatives die, where the claim is 20,000, will only contribute 2,000 and put 18,000 in the pocket. And he is waiting for all these relatives to die and safely in Canada. They are not dying in a subset. So, don't over-insure, don't under-insure. Planning for your education or for your kids' education. You know what? While you are working, you are here, you may wish to do your postgrad elsewhere, or you may wish to do your postgrad here. From the amount of money you are getting now, you should start building up a certain fund. I don't know how much you can keep. I haven't been on campus for too long, but I don't understand student life. I don't know how much you used to buy, drink Coca-Cola. You know Coca-Cola. And I know you, I'm sure you might drink Coca-Cola. If you can sacrifice 12 units of Coca-Cola every month and drink water and save that money because you are being paid by National Development Power, you realize that that money is going to come very useful when you go for graduation. And by then you have practiced this whole thing of saving. By the way, if you can start now, you can be able to buy investment instruments in the bank at a very early age. If you can have a treasury bill or a treasury bond from now, that would be a good thing. The other thing is like the money that you should save for retirement. I tell you now, you see you are on campus, you should worry about the kind of life you are when you retire. I know even in the bank, when we talk about retirement issues, all young people walk out. They get bored. They just leave. And then when you tell them, by the time you retire, you're going to earn this much and this much, you should change behavior and get ready to plan for a comfortable retirement. Make it a worry now. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem if you are not prepared. There are three classes of assets or money. You have money in liquid assets, you have money in fundamental assets, you have money in investment assets. In liquid assets, you have cash or money in your savings accounts. In fundamental assets, you have money dumped in house. You see, listen to that. Dumped in housing, cars, clothing, furniture, jewelry. Yes, I'm using that word deliberately. Then, in investment assets, we have in securities, shares, treasury bonds, treasury bills. Where do you think most of people's money is? Fundamental assets. People have money, but they are poor. Okay? A now university graduate should avoid having money in those spaces. At least you should have money in the savings and have money in the investments. Very little on this consumption space because it doesn't help. I know the social pressure. The social pressure says when somebody wears X label, you should wear it. When somebody says, while I was in heaven, why we were elsewhere, why we were everywhere, you also want to be there. I've seen them taking trips to heaven while I was there. And you know what do they do when they go to heaven? They go there just to walk naked. And some of them go there with the money they have borrowed from Mr. Mashulisa XN1. They are going to pay for that with interest. You see, just to go and walk naked so that you can fit within these social circles while we were there. There's a way I want you to think about money. Assess your financial status now and continue advising your parents or your colleagues who are not in the university to assess their financial statuses. You realize that you may be having a high net worth, but very little money. If you take your liabilities and you subtract you take the total value of your assets less your liabilities, you will realize that your net worth is at a certain level, but the challenge is giving money. The budget, I've heard the speakers talking about the budget. Here is a mistake that most of those people that my brother referred to, who have 30% of 70% of their salaries committed to servicing obligations. The employees in civil service were allowed or are currently allowed to have 70% of their gross salary being used to service debt and other obligations, and then to live on 30%. Those are my clients. Do you know why they are my clients? You can't live on 30%, regardless of how big is your salary. The advice is from the salary that you earn, 20% to be for savings and investments. 20% for savings and investments. 50% for those other needs. If you can find yourself in a position where you are spending 70% of your salary to service debt obligations, then life and future will not help. I will take you briefly around structuring your finances to achieve your goals. You know, people know exactly that at certain time intervals they are going to achieve, they are going to need to go through certain goals, like a wedding, whatever. And when that time comes, there's no money put aside for that. You go to microfinance. Remember, you have exhausted opportunities in the land. Now you go to the microfinance to borrow your money to finance your wedding. You know, a marriage that is financed with a loan from a microfinance is doomed to fail. Because if a man takes you with a loan from those institutions, the next time you know that you are going to spend 5 years only smelling KFC without the ability to get in, then you will leave it. So, put your objectives in this manner. Have an objective one. Maybe the short-term objective, which is 1 year, and then the intermediate objective, 1 to 10 years, long-term objective, which is 20 years. And open savings account where you are going to put money for those objectives, to finance those objectives. And build up buffers such that even if anything serious happens, you'll be able to finance your objectives. And we advise you to keep at least 6 months total value to address your objectives, such that even if anything can happen, you can be able to be sustainable for the coming 6 months. Central banks keep what is called 6 months of import cover. That's the amount of money we can be able to pay for our imports, even if we don't produce anything. I'm telling this to you today. If you are going to live from hand to mouth, someday manpower is not going to pay, then you'll have no rent, you'll have no food. Okay? Make sure that when you always create buffers such that the rent and the food, even if there will be strike in Maseru or the cyber attacks us again, no, they won't. But you will be able to sustain yourself until the next time. So you should also have strategies that will help you to sustain paying for these goals that you want to achieve. Have strategy 1, strategy 2, and strategy 3. Do you know why? There are many temptations. Many temptations. Especially for me. For men, temptations are many. There are those who keep long nails, long hairs, and the extensions. You know, if they come and straight here, even if you have good money in the socks, you will take it out. So make sure that you have strategies such that even if the challenges come, you will be able to sustain. And I want to conclude by emphasizing that when you fall into the issue of borrowing, please go there knowing the right questions to ask. Most people go and ask about how much is the interest. The interest is 20%. We haven't checked the admin fee, which comes monthly, and there's what is called initiation fee, the interest, and the collection fees. Those things, if I were to show you, you'll hate debt. And when you go to debt, pay it within the shortest possible time. Any debt that is paid over a period exceeding 4 years, then you should know that you need to pay more than twice the initial amount you took. And you come to the bank and tell us that we should apply in Duplam rule. And then I'll tell you, you are from the law profession. Duplam rule is interpreted in context which is in court, not in the bank. Okay? And then the last point that I want to emphasize, please, people who are spending sleepless nights in the university are giving financial advice by the university programs. Don't become part of those. Those guys who are not in class, they are reading Google crap. By the time you get employed, they will tell you that so much money can be made. In fact, they don't say, they say, and then they know that you have the capacity to get a loan, you'll be given a loan from the bank. They actually go into the bank, steal from you, you'll borrow, and then you give it to them, you'll never get anything. Those who think they are smart, they go digital currencies. My God, I was talking to one old lady. She was about to retire, and she said to me, there's so much money to be made from cryptocurrencies. And the poor lady could not pronounce the word cryptocurrency. And I said, what is that? So, here is the catch. If you don't understand how money is made in any domain, don't go and invest. Okay? With that, I hope I will not see a university graduate being swindled through Google crap. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Program Director, allow me to align myself with the protocol that has been observed. But let me pay my respects to the Vice Chancellor, the Governor of the Central Bank, Med Singh, the Governor, the Director, it is a wonderful privilege for me to be here. The reason why I say it's a wonderful privilege is because I used to lecture in this university 20 years ago. and I lectured for 13 years in the Faculty of Science. But because I still have my heart here, my heart is still here. I still have a number of partnerships with the National University of Lesotho through the project that I'm coordinating at the moment. I work closely with the Innovation Hub. We are supporting the Innovation Hub, which is incubating a number of entrepreneurs, young people. Currently, we are financing about 10 of those young people who are coming up with innovative projects and ideas. We are also financing the hub itself, and we are looking forward to continue to support the hub so that we create sustainable enterprises belonging to young people. That is one area. The second area is we have partnered with the University of Lesotho to establish an incubation and training center in the River District. There is an EMS building there in Mahobong. We have transformed that building to become a horticulture training and incubation hub, which is intended to train young farmers, women farmers, to become competitive, to become sustainable farmers and commercial farmers, focusing on high-value crops. Today, we are incubated up to 110, we're training up to 110 farmers, and as we speak, we are training 80 more farmers. So we are working closely with the university. We have also facilitated a signing of MOU between the University of Lesotho and the University of Stellenbosch so that they can collaborate on agricultural research, because Stellenbosch has over 100 years experience in research. And so, this is my second. And finally, we are working closely with EMS campus in Maseru to develop a microfinance program. We have so far designed the program, and we are going to be working with them to develop modules that will help ensure that we have a robust microfinance program in the country where microfinance, where SMEs can be trained at the EM Center. So I'm still part of this institution. When I received your invitation, I said, look, because there was no program, I didn't know that I was going to be in the program. I thought I was going to learn, and indeed, I learned a lot from you, from the speakers. And there are a number of take-home messages that I got, or key messages that I got from you. You see, my job is to build sustainable enterprises. It is to build sustainable businesses. That is my job. And financial literacy, yes, is relevant. It is relevant, as you'll hear what I do. When she invited me, I thought, I'm going to learn. And I was surprised too yesterday when I saw my name in the program. She said, okay, you are welcome to share your work, what you do with the students. The take-home messages I got today is that financial literacy cuts across all levels of society. It starts with individuals. It then goes to a household level. It even goes to enterprise level, which is why I'm involved. That families, households, need financially literate individuals. Enterprises require or need financially literate individuals. Even institutions. The university requires financially literate individuals to be sustainable. Even governments require financially, that's a message I got from one of the students, that in government departments, you need financially literate people to be able to make proper and good management decisions within those institutions. So it's a powerful take-home message. And I also learned that we need to intensify our awareness programs. And this is an example. And at the Morocco, I promise, I'm going to work with you to ensure that we partner to ensure that we upscale these initiatives where we support awareness programs such as this one to ensure that we have sustainable enterprises in the country. In fact, Central Bank is one of the key partners that we have as a regulator of financial institutions. We support Central Bank to build its capacity to oversee and ensure that there's responsible lending by financial institutions and responsible borrowing by consumers ourselves. That is our strategic partner. So coming to what we do as a project. First, I think I should explain that this project, the Competitive and Financial Inclusion Project, is a government project that is financed by the World Bank. And usually, governments use projects to fast-track or expedite implementation of policy. You know how much bureaucracy you have in governments. Things move very slowly. But projects are able to implement activities or policies or government strategies faster because they have additional resources. We have resources from the World Bank at the moment. We are able to do things faster by supporting institutions that are supposed to do the work that they're supposed to do. And so we received about $52 million from the World Bank in 2022 to implement the Competitive and Financial Inclusion Project. And this project is meant to strengthen private sector in Lesotho or to build private sector in the country. The previous speakers highlighted a number of challenges that this country is facing. High unemployment, especially youth unemployment. When you leave this place, the likelihood is that you'll struggle to get a job. So you are our priority. Secondly, acute poverty. The poverty rates in this country are very high. You are talking about something close to 60%. And also, we have a very unequal society. The gap between the rich and the poor is just too much. So we need to close that gap through this project. The government of Lesotho currently is the biggest employer. And it's not supposed to be. In economies that are sustainable, the private sector is supposed to be the biggest employer. About 80.5% of our GDP goes to wages of government officials. So our wage bill is among the highest in the sub-region. And the only solution that we have all agreed is that we need to build sustainable businesses. So how do we do this? As a government, we said, let's ensure that we level the playing field. Let's create an enabling environment so that it is easy for businesses to establish, it is easy for businesses to operate, so that we have more and more businesses running and operating in the country. And one of the biggest constraints that we have discovered is that access to finance has been and has always been a challenge for enterprises. So we are working the Central Bank of Lesotho, we are also working with commercial banks and financial institutions to try and address the challenge of access to finance. Access to finance for individuals and access to finance for enterprises. One area, which is a very important area that we are tackling and working closely with the Central Bank, is credit information sharing. It is very difficult for a financial institution to give you a loan without knowledge of your credit record or without your credit record. So we have a credit information bureau or credit bureau. It is a private credit bureau that is supervised by the Central Bank. And the coverage of that credit bureau currently, I think it covers about 50% of the adult population of the country at the moment. And it is easier for the banks to give you loans and financial institutions, microfinance institutions to give you loans if they can be able to refer to your credit record and then make an informed decision. So we are working with the Central Bank in that area to see how we can improve that area and that aspect of credit information sharing. Currently, the credit bureau only covers individuals. It doesn't cover businesses. So financial institutions are unable to check the performance of businesses. So we'll be working with the Central Bank to help establish a commercial credit bureau. That is a very important area that we are looking to work with the Central Bank. And as I mentioned earlier, we are also going to partner with the Central Bank to come or support this awareness programs to ensure that consumers become responsible borrowers. We are also working with the Central Bank to ensure that there is proper supervision of the financial institutions so that they don't lend to consumers recklessly. So that is our job. Basically, we are supporting the Central Bank as an institution, as a regulator.
I am honored and excited to be today. May 2023, we gathered here to celebrate April as the Financial Literacy Month for the first time in our country. We believe the conversations we had here touched many of us in different ways and made a difference in most of our personal lives and the lives of the people around us. Today's event is just a follow-up to what we did in 2023. I am honestly privileged to be amongst the vibrant community of students on a journey towards a brighter future, one where Lesotho are all financially literate and included. Let me use this opportunity to acknowledge all our key note speakers and our key partners in the 2023 event and now in 2024. I would like to acknowledge the participation of First National Bank and the participation of Mukuru, who is now becoming our new partner. And again to the media houses, which felt a need to participate in the event to help us touch as many Lesotho as we can. We extend our gratitude to our many strategic partners and supporters for their invaluable support. We thank all our distinguished speakers for their contributions. Your assistance is greatly appreciated, and we eagerly look forward to collaborating with you beyond this event. Before we proceed, let us first remind ourselves of the November 2023 Governor of the Central Bank of Lesotho speech, which profoundly highlighted a need for financial country. I quote, "The key to financial growth is having effective financial education. It is important for the financial sector to often reflect on how far they have come and if they have positively impacted the lives of Lesotho." A statement I fully concur with. Bomme le bontate, jwalo ka ha ausi a se a hlalositse kapa mme a se a hlalositse. Ke qadile ho sebetsa credit ke le moo, mme bankeng ke le 34. 20 years ya ka ke qetile ka hare ho lefapha la credit kapa moo ke approve kapa ke ditlaela mekoloto. Ka hara department tseno ke ile ka ithuta hore re le Basotho we are making so many mistakes. And nobody is saying anything about it. We continue to make those mistakes. Financial institutions Lesotho is a level support. Okowa, Adikala. Ufisela hona jwale. Dire ho bane re tsela tsela pele ho etsa diphoso. Ka hare ho institutions tsa bona. Empa ha ona motho a re letho. E kotsi ke teng hona jwale bontate ya mpesa. Ke hle ke etsa ka bona ke batho ba register le mpesa ba phamisa matsoho. Because hona jene ha o kolota motho ka bo o tlameha ho fa motho tjhelete okay e go fela ka mpesa. Okay sa o bana ka mpesa ba di ka kolota. When are you going to pay Pesa? But that is a fashion. Let us avoid it because it's not helping you anyhow. At the end of the day, you're still going to incur costs. Interesting. Financial literacy is more important and more complicated than ever in the complex modern world. It lays the groundwork for informed decision making and economic empowerment, but not limited to understanding the numbers or managing budgets. It equips individuals with the knowledge and skills needed to manage their finances effectively, plan for the future, and navigate the complexities of the financial world. It is an important aspect to succeed in financial inclusion initiatives. It's about making informed decisions that shape our financial well-being and contribute positively to the communities we live in. However, fostering financial literacy does not entirely depend on the Central Bank of Lesotho or on one organization, but it requires a concerted efforts from various stakeholders such as public institutions, corporate organizations, financial services and product providers, educational institutions, non-profit and social organizations, the mass media, and every other concerned party to take an active leadership role in this regard. At the Lesotho Financial Literacy Institute, we are committed to addressing this issue head-on. Last year, April. Then, before last year, we started at Lincoln University of Technology, where we engaged in staff on the financial literacy awareness workshop, but focus was on debt management because we are in a serious debt epidemic as a country in Lesotho. We collaborated with the Office of the Master of the High Court in October, more than estate and gift planning. And we are now in the second year. As usual, we are starting with the National University of Lesotho. We have a vision and we are on a mission. We envisage a Lesotho where every single person is financially aware and financially literate, A Lesotho where each and everyone is economically empowered. This is a massive undertaking and just too big for one organization. We also need the support of companies, especially in the financial industry, to join us in our mission to touch at least every Lesotho by the end of year 2025. Tertiary institutions for Melbourne are in the beginning of adulthood. They are facing countless financial challenges, opportunities, and most importantly, they have to start learning to respect money on their own, because our parents did not teach us how to respect money, our schools did not teach us how to respect money, and the onus is with us to start now learning by ourselves. Whether it is managing NMDS loan, budgeting for your daily expenses, or planning for the future, the choices made today invariably impact lives for years to come. But financial literacy should not just be an individual attempt, but a collective journey that requires the strength of community and the spirit of inclusiveness in building communities of financial literacy. We recognize the diversity of experiences, backgrounds, and perspectives that enrich our learning and strengthen our collective determination. Inclusiveness lies at the heart of our mission to ensure that every voice is heard, every perspective valued, and every individual empowered to participate fully in our shared journey towards financial well-being. It's about breaking down barriers, dismantling stereotypes, and creating opportunities for all. So, how do we build communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness? We first start with educating ourselves, We must all be equipped with the knowledge and skills needed to navigate the financial landscape, whether through formal education, self-directed learning, or peer-to-peer mentorship. Secondly, we must foster an environment of openness and acceptance, where everyone feels welcome and valued, regardless of their background or circumstances. It's about recognizing the unique challenges faced by different groups, whether it's students from low-income or high-income families, from foreign countries, or those with disabilities. All their needs must be addressed. Batho ba keneng dithuto tsa mahala bogolo ba nako ba tshwana le nna tjenana ga ba na bua sekgowa fluent ba ba lo qeta jwale ba tsebang bua sekgowa fluent ba ba lo qeta ba ba soma ka gore ba tsa dikolo tsa Saint-Joseph. So bomme le bontate ditaba tsena di re bogole gore na o tswa sekolo sa Saint-Joseph o tswa sekolo se neng se le tuku qetelong ya letsatsi you are in the one and the same tertiary institute, right? And you are not different here. In one way or the other, you are using money. Okay. So, we must all leverage the power of technology and innovation to reach a wider audience and make financial education accessible to all. And finally, we must lead by example, by expressing the principles of financial responsibility, resilience, and generosity in our own lives, and inspire others to do the same, whether it's through volunteering, mentoring, or simply sharing our experiences. Each of us has the power to make a difference in the lives of others. I don't know how this is our financial literacy, though we do that, it's not supposed to end with you. You have to talk to your children about it, talk to your colleagues about it, and talk to your communities more regularly. We are in a new era, let us commit ourselves to the noble cause of building communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness. Let us harness the power of knowledge, the strength of community, and the spirit of solidarity to create a future where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. Building sustainable communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness isn't merely an important aspiration. It's a fundamental necessity for the well-being of individuals and the prosperity of society. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow, one where financial literacy is not just a privilege, but a fundamental right, where inclusiveness is not just a goal, but a reality, and where each of us has the power to shape our own destination and the destination of generations to come. I urge all of us in this hall today to start now, to respect and nurture our money so that we can realize its value and importance to us in future. Thank you.
All the same, I would like to say that PVC, what are we doing as a faculty to ensure that we address the issues that have been raised here today? A lot has been said about entrepreneurship and students starting their own businesses. As a faculty of social sciences, we have a general program in entrepreneurship as a general aim calls for all students of anywhere. It is a must that all students of anywhere that the PVC design the program in our semesterization program to ensure that all students of this university, when they live here, so that we can actually create sustainable economies, everybody passes through entrepreneurship course. So we are asking all our sponsors actually to come in on board. I was talking with my Dean of Humanities. He was asking, how is this entrepreneurship going to help us? I said, I know you are teaching theology. We will teach you how to start viable churches. You know, churches in money these days, they are like businesses. So we are telling him that we teach them how to be better priests, how to be better pastors, how to make businesses out of churches. So everybody in the university can actually be taught entrepreneurship. We don't want people to think that entrepreneurship should only be taught to economics and business students, but each and every one. If you are in education, will teach you how to start your own school. If you are in the library, go and start your own library. So we are saying entrepreneurship is here for everybody, and we are asking more sponsors, the private sector, and everybody to come and help the program and help the university to actually ensure that entrepreneurship program at the National University of Lesotho is successful as a general education course for all of us. That is a new thing that we are doing as an organization, as a university, to try to reach to the people, to reach to the societies. The next thing that we are doing rightly on financial literacy, we have, as a faculty, mandated a team of experts to design programs at different levels, as I said yesterday, short courses to meet immediate needs of financial literacy in the country. It is being led by our colleagues in economics, so it's going to be based in economics, and I don't know what they talk about it lightly. They are the ones that are actually working with us to design such programs. The next program that we are going to design is Certificate of Appreciation in Financial Literacy. So that's where we are going as a university to try to work with the society to ensure that we actually become relevant and visible. After that, we are planning, along with Central Bank, that we will have the postgraduate program in financial literacy for those that want advanced levels of financial literacy. So in a way, we are saying as a university, we are coming to the party. As I indicated, I think yesterday, all good things start small. Not a long time ago, when Matt came to my office to say he has someone from America who is talking about this financial literacy. We started the movement, and I said at that time, this is an unstoppable movement. It will start with us in the Faculty of Smart Services and it will be we will make sure that everybody in the university has an understanding of financial literacy. Believe you me, you wouldn't be surprised that Professor Musiko or myself as a professor or anybody in this university can be very educated but still be financially illiterate. That's the truth of the matter. So we are saying we want everybody at the world to be financially literate. This movement to start here, but not to stop here. If you want to live at UAL, you are still part of that movement, because at the end of the day, we want to make a national movement that will affect all other people. So tomorrow, we will, as a university, if things we are going to plan, our students and lecturers that the PVC will be going to Maseru to interact with street vendors. So we don't want to leave anybody behind as a university. We want to make sure that, like our students have been indicating here, that they know and that whoever who sells cows out there, they should be able to understand financial things, rather than sell a cow and go and build a big house without financial security. So these are the things that we are doing as a university. That deficit, you know, I talk a lot. I'm sorry, I almost made closing remarks. With these few words, I call you on the stage today, and we are honored that you are here. Thank you so much.
I am honored to stand before you, reflecting on your invaluable discussions, insights, and commitments towards advancing financial literacy in Lesotho. Recognizing the critical role of financial literacy, governments and educational institutions worldwide are increasingly incorporating financial education into curricula and launching public awareness campaigns. The multifaceted role of financial literacy underscores its importance across all levels of society, as you may have realized, from individual financial well-being and business success to the overarching stability and growth of the global economy. As financial landscapes evolve with technological advancements and globalization, the depth and breadth of financial education must also expand. I listened to my dean speaking about this aspect, and I started celebration and wagging my tail in celebration surreptitiously, because it says that some of us, those who are lifelong students, who will probably have an opportunity to come to class. I realized when my dean was talking about people that he taught, he did not mention it. I did not take that kindly. Remember, my dean, I'm one of your products. He taught me human resource management. So if I mess up when it comes to human resource management, you should know I'm not alone. The multifaceted role of financial literacy underscores the importance across all levels of society, ourselves included. As financial landscapes evolve, should all join in. This ongoing process ensures that individuals and organizations are prepared to meet the challenges and seize the opportunities of future financial world. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been invited to come and say a few words, namely that the event which we have been enjoying to date is coming to an end. I hope you have actually enjoyed this event. The initiatives that are being offered by the National University of Lesotho jointly with other stakeholders are aimed to equip individuals with the financial knowledge and skills needed to navigate the complexities of the modern financial world, ultimately contributing to personal well-being, business success, and economic resilience, not only of institutions and organizations, but also of this our beloved kingdom. The journey to empower our communities with the knowledge to navigate the complexities of financial literacy cannot be underscored beyond what we have just said. Truth be told, when you are not financially literate, you are no longer welcome in the world of today, which is a world run on the basis of financial appreciation. I believe that the stories and statistics that you shared during this important event have ultimately succeeded to achieve their intended objectives. I believe that from today onwards, those of you here present, and through you, those that you represent, are going to benefit from the discussions that you participated in since yesterday. I believe that indeed the Faculty of Social Sciences, which is also a representative of the National University of Lesotho in this event, has been able to set a standard that many other faculties should and are going to follow. We believe that with the information with which you have been capacitated, you are going to be able to sow the seeds to the communities as we have been requested. We are told this year the motto is to capacitate all communities to build sustainable communities of financial literacy and inclusiveness.